Hey guys, welcome. Today's Thursday session is with me, and in today's video, we're going to be going over the Facebook strategy. And we're going to be talking about how we really try to target tenants on our own without assistance from any brokers, assistance from agents. Of course, we could utilize brokers and agents, but in order to do that, there's a few things that you have to be aware of. The broker needs to be very well incentivized, which means it's going to cost you guys a lot of money, and very knowledgeable in the world of Flex and how to acquire tenants in the world of Flex. This Facebook strategy is something that I have used myself when I first started implementing the process. And the reason that I actually created this Facebook strategy is I actually realized that as tenants would come and drive by the property, they would generally come from Facebook posts that someone had posted about a flex space, about some real estate, even brokers using Facebook to capture tenants. And so I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I can easily optimize the strategy and bring it to a point where I would, I don't really need anybody who's a real estate professional to get tenants to my property. So in today's class, in today's session, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going over the Facebook strategy process. I'm going to be doing the slides first. I'll walk you through the entire process because I do get a lot of questions around this. And then I'm actually going to be doing the Facebook strategy. So I'll be opening my Facebook account for one of my properties and showing you guys what exactly that looks like. I think it's extremely important that you implement this Facebook strategy twice in the lifetime of your project. The first time is going to be when you are actually scouting the land. You want to make sure that the land has a certain level of demand for flex space. It's extremely important that you implement the strategy there, even though you don't have your flex space or office warehouse built out at this time. It is very important that you implement this strategy then. It'll give you a good idea as to what the demand looks like, and thus it'll make you very confident that this land is the right land for you. In fact, just today I was talking to someone from my office who is interested in buying a piece of land to develop their first flex space. So that's right, someone from my office is getting ready to build their own first flex space. So really excited for them, super, pumped up as always to see where this goes. And most importantly, ready to do due diligence on where the land is going. So let's quickly start with the presentation. Step one, you go to your Facebook page, of course. This is what Facebook page would look like. Now, in my case, what you're going to see is Katie and Cypress Office Warehouses. This is, I guess, our account from, when I used to run the ads directly myself. Obviously, since then, I have a third-party company that does that, so I don't have access to those accounts. But this is the account that I first started this entire process on. This is how I began my Facebook journey. So first thing you do is open Facebook. You get to this page, which is Katie and Cypress. In your case, it's going to be your own page, which I'm going to walk you through and show you exactly how that works. Now, once you have a business page like this one, and I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks towards the end on how you name your page. It's extremely important you stay aware and you stay, for that. You click on Ad Center. That's a very simple thing. You could do one of two things here. You could click Ads Manager, which will take you to the Facebook Business Manager side. It's a little more technical. You can implement more targeting, and everything that I do for my other businesses, I do target through Ads Manager. But for this purposes of this video, and for you guys to understand exactly how to get started really quickly with these Facebook ads, we're going to be using the Facebook Ad Center. Now, the targeting options in Facebook Ad Center are usually done autonomously. It's fairly automatic. You don't really need to be very technical in the world of Facebook, and you can easily target, because we're targeting a certain area, you can target everyone and anyone, and then it kind of hones in on who's interested in leasing your flex spaces. Let's see now. All right. Once you are in the Ad Center, you will click this button that says Create Ad. Very simple. It's a large blue button. It should be available to you guys immediately as soon as you click that Ad Center page. Then after that, the process is you will create new ad, because we are looking to create a new ad for flex spaces. Now, once again, the images that you will use don't need to be actual flex spaces. They can be rendering, they can be images that you have found. They can actually be my images that I created in the resources section in your on the platform. So you can use all of my images. In fact, sometimes I'll be flying around the country and I will see ads of my own images. That means somebody is testing their market with these images, and that is totally okay. And you can do that with the images that I provide. All right. begin filling out the ad. So a few things are going to happen when you create the ad. And of course, guys, I'm going to go over this in much more detail. So if you have any questions, save them for the actual process. I'm just really going to skim over what this is and give you guys a better understanding. So begin filling out the ad. And I want to go through this. I want to be careful and go through this step by step so that you guys understand every process on how we're doing this, right? Now, what you'll notice here is that I fill the ads. It's very basic. It has a little bit of text and it says, new construction office warehouses, perfect for all businesses. Call now and schedule your private showing. These words are very targeted. They are extremely, they were carefully thought about before I placed them here. They cater to just the right people, just the right audience, and they cater to enough people to where a lot of people will actually interact with this ad. So it says all businesses, private showing, office warehouses, and it's perfect, right? So key elements in this top portion of the description that I think would make really good text. I think the copy is extremely important. You don't want to keep it too long. You don't want to keep it too short. You want to keep it just right so that all the people are going to click these ads and are going to get curious about, you know, where they end up. Once again, Katie and Cypress Office Warehouses. This is just something we built on Canva. And here's the website. This is kind of sort of what the ad is supposed to look like once it's in place. Then they click on the ad. Where do they go? The ad is actually connected to a Google form. It allows everybody to come in and input data and give you guys access to information so that you can contact these potential tenants and tell them, hey, my flex space is going to be ready in a year if you're only doing due diligence about the area, or if you have completed construction or are nearing your certificate of occupancies, you want to make sure that you are, capturing all these leads to make sure that you can actually get in tenants via using these ads. Really quickly, creating your Google form. This is how my Google form is created. So as you can see, I have an image of an actual flex space and it says you can lease this property. Now, what I have learned is although in the ad, it's actually going to give you the address of the property, a lot of people are not going to know what the address is. Even though they fill out the form, sometimes you're going to see that they wanted a warehouse in a completely different location and they still filled out the form. And so I have come to, baby the form in such a way that it's extremely clear where this property is located so that they can actually Google Maps it before they fill out the form. And this, although we'll have less people filling out the form, it's the right people filling out this form. And this is kind of where you want that, information to be. You want the right people reaching out to you, people who are actually interested in, for example, Cypress, Texas. That's the zip code. They have that in their mind. They're like, okay, I can go ahead and fill out the form. Things that you will ask for in the form are full name, phone number, unit size, desired timeline for move-in. This is extremely important. And what you'll see is most of your tenants are looking to move in 30 to 60 days. It is very rare for tenants to wait around longer than that. Types of businesses and intended use. Now, of course, in my case, sometimes I will put types of businesses and intended use. Sometimes I'll just leave it blank. And the reason is some areas in the country, we are restricted on what types of businesses we can allow in our flex spaces, and other areas we are not. So just depending on that, I will modify this form so that I can, better cater to the tenants and better cater to the area and hopefully get more leads. Once again, this is an important part of the form that a lot of people forget to check mark. Every portion of the form that you construct, that I construct, I make it required. So I ask a few questions, like I showed you guys earlier. There are usually 6 or 7 questions. I don't go more than that, and we'll walk through that later on. I found that 6 or 7 questions is just the right amount of questions. You don't want to overwhelm them with too many questions, and you don't want to keep the form too short because then you have too many people filling out the form and giving you just, false hope, sort of, so to speak, because it was just so easy to fill out. So make it difficult enough to where the serious people are filling it out. So I've learned that 6 to 7 questions is kind of where that number lies, and make it easy enough that they're not too, like, they look at it and they're like, oh, it's 20 questions. We're not going to fill that out. Forget this. We're going to skip it. So 6 to 7 questions is ideally kind of where you want to be when it comes to the form. Responses. This is the portion of the form that once you do have responses, this is where they're going to end up. Now, obviously, in this case, this is a sample form. It says untitled. You're not going to see any responses here. But when you do create a form, this is where all your responses will end up. Once you do have responses, the cool part is, and this is what I do, I have a virtual assistant who has access to my spreadsheet, and my virtual assistant actually makes all the phone calls on my behalf. So she's going to pick up the phone and say, hey, I saw that you filled out a form. I was curious as to when you're looking to move in. I was curious as to, what your business is. And she'll try to get as much information as possible from this potential tenant. Her job is also to schedule showings. So not only is she going to gather information, she's going to look at my calendar, look at my team's calendar, whoever it is that can assist with the showing at that time. She's going to look at that calendar, make sure that they're available, and schedule those showings for the actual property. Now, chances are that your potential tenants already, even though they filled out this form, chances are they already know where your flex space is. 80% of the people who fill out our form, we've realized, because we target such a small area, usually and generally know exactly where our warehouses are. They've seen them under construction, and the Facebook ad was just a way for us to capture their information. And this is exactly where the responses appear. So when you have a Google Sheet, this is what that will look like. This thing here will fill up, and then you have full name, phone number, how many square feet they're looking for, how quickly they want to move in, and of course, the intended use. Now I'm going to show you, if we have time, I'm going to show you an actual form that we actually created. We were able to lease out an entire plaza, and then we just, let it be after that. Then let's go back to the ad and take a look at, what exactly we need to be doing here. So I'm actually going to take you guys to the ad really quickly. It was supposed to be a click button, but this is what it is. And just let me know in the chat if you guys can see my Facebook page. And if you can, just type the number 1 or type the number yes, or the words yes rather. And if you can, I will keep going. All right, so you can see the Facebook page. That's excellent. All right, so like I said, guys, we hit this button. So, okay, let's go. First of all, let's go to this Facebook business page, right? So these are all my business pages. This is what they look like. This is the page that I created. Okay, now once you hit create page, you create this business page, there's a few things that you need to do. You need to build out this banner. You need to put a profile picture. You need to fix these buttons. And guys, you can easily find out how to do this on the internet. It's extremely easy to create a Facebook page. I'm not going to get into the details of creating the page, but I am going to get into the details of actually filling the page with content. By the way, this video here, it's from my YouTube days when I was big on YouTube. So pretty interesting stuff. You can see I was talking about EIDL on January 12th, which is pretty awesome. Anyways, at this point in time, remember, you probably have 0 followers, 0 likes on your page. That should not deter you from posting content. The content that I've realized works best is actually what I like to call filler content. So excuse all of the videos. The videos are awesome. If you guys can make videos about FlexSpace, about where the land is, about what you're planning on building, give them some sort of feedback, give them some type of knowledge, give them anything they need. If you guys can do that, definitely do that, but you don't have to. Okay, what you have to do is you need to create, as soon as you create the page, create filler content. So this is me creating filler content. I went there one day at night, took pictures from my iPhone and created filler content, right? This is them unloading at that time, I believe, power or HVAC, whatever it was, and me dealing with that, right? And me creating all of this. Okay, here you go. This is filler content. I'm almost out of 1,700 square feet spots. So if you're interested in leasing, please reach out to me, right? Now, remember, you're going to have 0 followers and 0 likes at this point in time. So you're not really targeting anyone. Don't think that by me typing this, I was actually aiming to reach somebody. I wasn't. What I was aiming for is that when I run my ad, right, and they land on my page, when they scroll on the page, they actually see what we call filler content, right? So all of this is intentional. Hey, I'm going to be on site tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If anyone wants a tour. These are very intentional posts. That day specifically, I may not have been on site from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. the chance of somebody seeing this is probably zero, because you have zero followers, 0 likes at that time. What this does is that this builds rapport that, hey, whoever's running this page is actually active, is going on site, is showing things to tenants. That's pretty awesome. Whoever is doing this is actually doing this, right? And not for the sake of just like posting stuff about FlexSpace. They're actually like, hey, this is something that's really cool. Look at this post. I'm looking for some cool food trucks to bring on the property. If you know any cool food trucks, please tag them here. Now, if you see here, we got 9 comments on this, okay? All of these comments, I assure you, came significantly after me actually posting this, potentially even maybe years after me posting this. But the cool thing is that as your ads go live for your FlexSpace, people are actually going to get to see this. People are going to be impressed that, hey, look, this guy's doing he's building some type of FlexSpace community in the area, which is pretty cool. And so they're going to like you. You're going to become very approachable. Your forms are going to get easily filled out. So a lot of people make this mistake. They'll create the Facebook page for the ads account, but then they won't post filler content. And the filler content could be, just a few words. Like, look at this. This is just literally a few words. We have some 1750 square foot units available. And it's going to start December 1st. Message me for details. So this is not even something that I had ready at the time, right? It's just message me for details. Also, a good idea is to post some of your potential tenants. So you know how I tell you guys that, hey guys, we start leasing way before these flex spaces are complete. So this was one of the tenants that we had in one of our flex spaces that we leased way before the flex space was complete. So they were moving from another location. This is what they did. I asked them for some images. I asked them for their Facebook page, and they sent me this stuff. And I used it. I was like, hey guys, we have this person, they signed the lease, welcome them to the FlexSpace community. And then as you can see, everything else is super generic. You're gonna get, look, thank you for all the inquiries. We leased 3 spaces in 8 days. So, I think engagement is very important. I think also that you have to, at some point, be able to be approachable by all these tenants, right? So look, emojis are fine. This is fine. We have this post that we posted once again, and this was done in April of 2018. This is, by the way, the April of 2018. This is a completely different project. So it's not even the same development. This is a completely different development that we had and that we're leasing. And these posts are still there. We use the same page for 2 or even 3 developments. And this is what that looked like. Extremely easy to build out these renderings. Our coaches can assist you with these renderings. Make sure you reach out to them. Hey, we'd like renderings. Could you give us some renderings for potentially our development and what it would look like? I think it's a great idea if you've identified a piece of property to just immediately do renderings. It's a very low cost. They look nice. They're presentable if you have investors or not. Extremely presentable. If you have, if you're raising money or you're trying to seal the deal with a bank, whatever you're trying to do, renderings will always help. So, and they're very low cost. So definitely something to look at. All right, now I'm going to click on this button here that says Ad Center, and we're going to go through the ads, and I'm going to walk you through exactly what that looks like. Now, I used, once again, the Ad Center. You can, if you are more well-versed with Facebook ads, you know how to target, you know how to retarget, you know how to do all that stuff, which I don't, okay? I'm not an expert marketer. I don't know how to do any of those things. I understand Facebook for its simplicity, and I understand these ads for being extremely simple, because that is the way, I've learned to use Facebook. So we always use local reach, meaning we try to target the the area, the geographic area that's right next to kind of where our flex space is going to be. And I'm going to walk you through the entire ad strategy. It's extremely simple, nothing complicated here. Okay, let's click here and let's see if it opens up really quickly. And I hope it does, because we had it and then we lost it for a second. So let me see where we're at, and let me see what I can do here. Hold on just one sec, guys. I think we lost it, so I need to come back to it. All right, okay, here we are. Ad strategy, here you go. So it opened up again. All right, so I'm gonna go over the first ad, and I'm just gonna click on view results because I ran this ad a very long time ago. but I do want to show you guys what's under the hood and what these results really look like, okay? Now here, Facebook does a really cool thing where it shows you people. Who are these people? Who's clicking on the ad and what does it look like? You'll notice that I have targeted 18 to 65. Now, the reason that I've targeted 18 to 65 is because by law, you need to target everyone. You cannot restrict age or any other thing. So you have to target to everyone, which is why I think for real estate, when it comes to real estate, you don't really need to be very well versed when it comes to running ads because you're going to have to run it to everyone anyway. So targeting people and you know, trying to target, sometimes Facebook will shut you down. They'll be like, hey, you know, you're targeting too hard. You can't do that. So it's very easy to run these ads this way, and this way you really reach everyone and anyone, which I think is excellent. Next thing, we're going to look at placement. Where are these ads being shown? And guess what? These ads are mainly being shown in Marketplace, because guess what? When people are looking for something, where do they go? They go to Marketplace. I know for a fact that when I'm looking for a lot of things, first place I'll go to is Marketplace. Even if I'm not interested in buying, I'll go to Benchmark. You know, I want to know what it costs, how much it is. I want more information. I want to learn, right? And so that's what placement looks like. Location, Texas. So this ad was entirely targeted within a 10 or 15 mile radius, whatever the law was back then. I think now the law is you have to target 15 miles around the property. Back then, I believe it was 5 miles or so, and that's kind of what we used. As far as language, this is the language, extremely simple. Give them what they want. They want to know how many square feet. They want to know that you're open to first-time businesses. They want to know that you're close to highways. They want to know that you have an easy leasing process. And they also want to know that you are direct, meaning there's no broker. They're not going to have to pay a commission. They're going to be talking directly to the owner. Guess what? When you tell a tenant, a potential tenant, that you're not dealing with a corporation and you're dealing with an actual person and you're going to get to talk to them, whether it's a representative or the person directly, they love that. They want to be able to come tell you their story. Maybe they negotiate a little bit, you know, they get a 1 free month of rent or whatever it is. They actually like talking to owners. Tenants are tired of talking to corporations and dealing with them. So definitely something important. And once again, all these words are extremely intentional. Now, all of these ads or all of these, all of this copy is available to you guys, so you can use that. Okay. Once again, we're going to click here. This now is where we can tell how much we spent per click. And as you can see, back then, we spent 45 cents per click. Now, I will tell you this, till today, our click rate is about 45 cents per click across the nation. And it's very similar to what you guys are seeing right now. Also, you can see my daily budget is $50. $50, if you run it for an entire month, is $1,500, okay? And in those $1,500 a month, for example, which I don't think I even ran $1,500 of this ad. I ran much less than that. It says here. So I ran this for less than a month. You can see that we got plenty of clicks. We got plenty of reach. We got 1,327 clicks. So if one person, just one person leased this warehouse, it would be cheaper for me to run the ad out of 1,000, right? Than it would be to hire a broker. And it would be less work for the broker. Guess what? Brokers are not really incentivized for 1 month's rent to work on renting a flex space, driving there, coming back, doing showing, scheduling. They're more interested in bigger things. They have bigger fish to fry, right? This is why this is the lowest hanging fruit right now that a lot of people just don't take advantage of. Now, in my case, I told you one person, right? What if I told you that I believe that these ads actually helped me lease the entire property? Not just one person. I leased an entire property with 0 agents, no commissions paid for this entire budget. And let me show you what that budget looked like, right? So we're just going to tally it up really quickly. $800, which is less than 1 month's rent, which is less than half of 1 month's rent. $500, $700, and $139. This is what it cost me to get all my tenants in place. And I'm going to show you this other ad that we ran and what it looked like. And same thing. It's 45 cents. I think this is the same ad that I clicked just a second ago. So I'm going to go back because 597 was here. Then I'm going to go here. And if I recall correctly, This actually was one of my best performing ads. And the reason I believe it was the best performing ad was because if I do preview, let me see if I can do preview. Let me see all. So I ran it for 20 days. I started Feb of 2023. Oh, this must have been a test when I restarted the ad. And this is the ad, right? Same thing. It has some emojis. It has a couple other things. Hold on, let's take a look at it. And this is exactly what the ad looked like. So this is what the text would look like. And as you scroll, you get to see images. Now, what if I told you these images were not professional like the other one? These images were in fact taken by my iPhone and edited within my iPhone. So the images happened in the iPhone and they were taken by the iPhone and they led, as you can see over here, to a Google form. All right, that was the website. So what you do is when you are creating the ad, you do the creative. So you put now leasing, you put all of the stuff here that I've highlighted. You put your images that I took from an iPhone. You write now leasing here in the headline, contact us, and it's going to ask you for a website because I always have my ads redirect out to a website. Now, since then, by the way, Facebook internally has a process where you can gather all the leads and the lead information via Facebook. It's actually, there's less resistance there. And the good thing is everything is auto-populated. So when someone says, I'm interested or I want more information, Facebook uses literally their profile and gives you their name, their number, their email address, and who they are as a person. So since then, more recently, Facebook Forms is also a very good way to do this. It's just that I still use Google Forms because of my VAs and the process. But you can also use Facebook Forms internally if you know how to use that. Now, you do need to check this, okay? A lot of people get their ads rejected, even denied, even accounts get shut down because they missed out on a few key elements. What do you need to know? This is a special ad. It falls under a special ad category. And this is what that looks like, okay? You fall under a few things. Elections, politics, housing, employment, if you're, employment, credit, banking or credit, or housing. So even though this is commercial real estate and it's not really housing, it is real estate. And all real estate falls under this housing category. So you need to make sure to turn this on. So this blue tab needs to be blue, and you need to be in the housing element here. Once again, now, once you're in the housing, there's going to be a few things that happen here that will auto adjust. Okay. And the only thing really that you can manipulate is, hold on, let me take a look what you can manipulate. Here you go. You see how it says add a location? So I actually added the address plus 15 miles, because if you do anything less than 15 miles, it will bump the ad and it will reject it. I'm just going to confirm this really quickly. Once again, no pixel, because I didn't need a pixel, and no, for placements, yeah, let's talk about placement. So I did Instagram, Messenger, and Facebook is an automatic check mark. So very easy to run an ad this way. And I just realized, by the way, that I have 69 cents in credit. And that's something interesting. I never realized that before. Okay, so not a big deal at all. And I think it's extremely important that you start this initiative as soon as you guys have even identified an area. You don't actually even need to identify land. Let's say I'm looking at certain areas in Fort Worth, certain areas in Houston, certain areas in Michigan, certain areas, in California. Wherever I'm looking for potential land to build flex space, I think this market is good. I know it. Someone told me to come check it out. Whatever it is, you can run these ads for so cheap. Like, it's one of those steps that I always tell people, do not skip out on this step in the very beginning, because it will save you towards the end when you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars in many cases developing one of these flex spaces, right? A few things that I do want to caution you guys. One of them is, please do not set limits lower than $20 a day, because you will not get accurate information. I know a lot of people start out and they're like, hey, we're going to start with $5 a day and we're going to see how far that stretches. $5 a day generally will give you maybe one lead. There is definitely a synergy effect with going larger, because people will see your ad multiple times scrolling on their feed in Facebook and Instagram. And that actually makes them more potent to click, fill out a form, actually tour property, right? If they just see it once, because you put $5 a day, and then they saw it the next day once, even if they're interested, if there's no repeat effect, they're not really going to click on the form to get, to get all those results. Now, let me see if I can open up the form really quickly over here, and see what I can do to show you guys what the form, or what a filled out form actually looks like. Just give me a second. I'm trying to make this work. And realistically, what you want to do is you want to make sure that all your leads are actually going somewhere. And although that somewhere is actually like, like a relatively easy place for them to be, an easy place for them to fill out. Okay, so what this is this is actually the form. All right, and I hope you guys can still see my screen. I'm on a different tab, but I'm gonna open up this form to show you guys exactly what my form looks like. So here you go. This is my form, right? I have an image of my flex space. I have this thing that I showed you guys. And then when you scroll down, these are my questions. First name. And what you'll notice here is I have this in English and in Spanish as well, because a lot of people, you'll notice, will end up filling these out in Spanish. Unit size, desired. When do you want to move in? Don't give them too many options here. And then remember how I told you, sometimes I'll have, what is the intended use? Sometimes I won't. In this case, I had what is the intended use. So here it is. You can see it. And this is what my Facebook form looks like. Now, really quickly, while I'm here and I have you guys for just a moment, I wanted to show you guys the form, and hopefully I can. Let me see if I can really quickly just jump into my drive. This is totally totally on the fly here. Okay, let's see if I can show you this form. I've opened it up, and here we're gonna go, and here we're gonna show you what a form looks like. And this form is actually very interesting. Let me just stop screen share just for a second, guys, because I need to run a tab that requires some information. Here you go. Let's go drive. All right, here you go. We have the form. It's opened up. I'm going to walk you through an actual form for an actual property, okay? All right, here you go. This is a form. This is what a filled out form must look like. This is how you will communicate with your property manager and with your people in your office if you have to, or they will communicate with each other, right? So as you can see, we have their name, we have their dates, first of all, and you can see these are all live dates. Now, I will tell you this, we did lease out this property completely just using this form and some outside strategies as well. These are all people, and these are all people who filled out the form correctly, right? Now, this over here, this red part, green part, all of this is people who actually, this is our internal office. So our people don't actually get to see that. You guys are, because you're on the back end with me. But otherwise, other people don't have access to this form. All right. So as you can see, within, let's see how quick this was. So this was June. Is that June? Yes. So, or no, this is Feb. Okay, so this is Feb. And then if you go down, how much down are we? Yes, we need to go down because it did take us more than Feb to lease out the space. So now we're in March and we're in April. And as you can see, we filled the space out over here where you see there's no more notes anymore. The reason we do that is because we actually run the ad even after we are full. We run the ad and then we just make sure that we have more leads coming in. So just in case someone wants to get out, just in case we need to create a waiting list, which I highly recommend. I think it's a great strategy. If we need to do any of that, we can create a waiting list for the property. Now, when you're going through a lease up is basically a timing period where you are leasing up a space very quickly. There's going to be incentives that sometimes you will provide, right? So for example, You're going to get to see here, looking to pay, well, this person wasn't really even a lead because we were full by then, but, looking to pay X amount of dollars, looking to move in, here you have somebody didn't put their phone number. So you're always going to have things, these are required, by the way. So he probably put something, but it didn't translate on the spreadsheet correctly. So we have to go back to the actual form in the filled out portion, and then we find their number there and we can contact them. Also, a lot of you guys sometimes stress out on who is our tenant? What is our tenant doing? What are their businesses, right? These are all businesses that are all related to tenant. Look at this business. How cool is that? You have a bakery, you have an auto showroom, carpentry, storage, plumbing, barber shop. By the way, this barber shop, we did actually, I remember this barber shop, we did actually end up closing on this individual. Car detail, vending machine operators, printing flyers, photography, party hall in a flex space. Chances are this was a storage unit for them, photography, venue, auto repair, right? You have so many things, nonprofit organization. Look at that. That's another thing. This is a test. So as you can see, Habibi Let's Go is not actually a profession. This is a test that probably someone on our team created because that's what we use on all our tests. Party event hall, welding, activity center, right? You have all of these tenants that are coming in and telling you what they do, how much space they're looking for. They provide you with their name. They provide you with the phone number. All you need to really do at this point is contact them and make sure that you are reaching out to them. All right, guys, with that, I'm going to end this. This was amazing. It was really good. I will open up for questions. So if you do have a question, type them in the chat and I can go over any questions that you may have around this strategy. I'll keep the floor open for a couple of minutes until your questions roll in. There you go. Sam, you there? You can unmute.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm here.
Hold on.
Sorry,
Let me
I'm
just make
driving,
sure that
so.
my speaker is set up correctly. There you go. Okay. I think it is.
Okay, yeah, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, hey Hamza, hey everyone.
Hey.
So, question. Okay, so I've been running Facebook ads a lot. There's one time where it didn't get approved, it got rejected. And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was because the only thing I did different was that at one time, it was the second time I ran an ad. I figured, hey, I'm lazy. I don't want to have to create a whole new business page. So I'm going to use the one that I've set up in, let's say, Dallas. Same picture, same everything. I'm just going to go in there and edit the name from Dallas to wherever, Sunnyvale. Rather than having to create a whole new page, upload whole new pictures and all that stuff. And that's what I did. And as far as I recall, that's all I did. And everything else was the same. Housing was checked. And the whole, radius of 15 miles and age, that thing was set right. And I got slapped down. My only assumption was that they caught me for that reason, spamming, perhaps.
It could be.
I'm using the same pictures. I'm just curious. And then so ever since then, I created 3 other ads, and I just take the time to create everything from scratch, even though I'm using the exact same pictures and the exact same everything, except the name is different. And everything has been fine. So do you do that? Do you take the same business page and just basically change the name out, or do you always recreate the ad?
No.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So we create separate Facebook pages for actually each development that we build or each potential thing that we run, for sure. Yeah, you definitely don't want to use the same business page for multiple runs. You want to make sure it's different business pages for each and every single product.
Okay, so that's probably why I got slapped in, is because they caught me for spamming, even though I changed the name.
And Facebook is very brutal when it comes to looking at things. And once they slap something down, it's very difficult for you to get it back on. And especially because you're in the housing category, they look at that definitely with like a microscope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. Well, thanks a lot, Hamza.
Yeah, no problem. We have Attar Suleiman.
Yes, hey Hamza.
Hey.
Great talk, by the way. Quick question. I think I got a pretty good understanding of how you actually do the second run of the ads when you actually get when you're ready to lease, because you talked about the pictures you had taken with your iPhone and everything. But that all makes sense after you have done the building. But like the phase I'm at, I'm trying to decide between 2 lands. I didn't get a full idea of like what should I be using for pictures? What is it the same copy and you just kind of use random pictures? How does it actually work? What do you do when you're trying to do the validation, not the actual
Yeah.
leasing?
So I actually have provided my pictures in the resources section for all of you guys to use. And I believe most of the members just end up using my rendering pictures. So they're not actual pictures. They're like 3D renderings of the project. In many cases, what I would recommend for all of you guys is to do some type of rendering. They don't cost too much money. You know, if you have an idea as to what you want to build, it's always a good idea to get things rendered for yourself. Now, members use my images and you're more than welcome to do that. My images, I think, are now starting to get around to the point where even I see them all the time. And I know all of our members have really good experiences with them. So if you are starting out, I'd say just use my pictures. They're available to you. These are my, it's proprietary to me, and I'm allowing you guys to use all these images for your ads. And since they're renderings, you should be pretty much okay running the renderings. And that's kind of where, what all the members at your level are doing. If you want to take it one step further, make some nice renderings. If you have sort of an idea as to what the land looks like, send it out to, Gandhi, Vanessa, whoever's on our coaching team who can provide you guys with some, the renderings at a reasonable cost. Get 5 images, use those same 5 images for all of your developments for the next 10 years, just so that you don't get, they don't get taken down, or you don't have any issues with, with anybody else. So start off, use mine, take it a step further, start looking at building. And I think really you will start building your renderings once you've narrowed it down, once you sort of have an idea as to what your development is going to look like. I think that would be the ideal time for you to like really get those renderings in place. Oh, you're muted.
And I was thinking, as far as the copy goes, do you make any difference? Like, is it the same copy, whether you're pre-leasing or actually, whether you're validating or pre-leasing?
So it's the same copy. And the reason we want to do that is you actually want the people to think that it's existent. And even when we collect feedback, the strategy is we actually ask them questions as if it's ready. So what we'll do is, okay, how quickly are you looking to move in? Where's your existing location? How long have you been there? When is the earliest you can move? Would you like to schedule a tour? We actually even ask them that. Would you like to schedule a tour? And then towards the end, we tell them, okay, listen, the project is going to be ready in 1 year. So, we can tour the land, or we can, we don't actually tell them that the project is not complete until the end, so that we can validate for ourselves that this is a genuine tenant and not somebody who just filled out a form for the sake of filling out a form. You want to make sure that there are, real, credible people who will move into a location had you had a location for them to move into.
Is there any place, the questions that you just talked about, Hamza, the kind of the script of the call that you all have, do you have that in the resources somewhere? You just
I'm not sure. I may have the script, but even if like we go through this in all of our calls, and we, everybody sort of has their own flair or twist to how they ask their questions and what they ask. And you just want to make sure that these are genuine people. So I may have a script, not saying that I don't, but if it's not there, it's there. It's not there for a reason, and that reason would be that we want you guys to kind of play around depending on who the tenant in front of you is and ask them those questions.
Of course. Makes sense.
Right, and then we have this call with me. So if there's anything you want to go over about the call and take notes, I'm available.
Okay, sounds
all
good.
right. Excellent. Are you a new member?
Yes, I am. Second day actually, joined yesterday.
Oh, this is your second day. So you haven't had your Monday call with me yet.
I have not. This Monday will be my first one.
Oh, welcome. All right. Well, I'll get your story on Monday then. I don't want to get it right now. All right. Really excited to have you on board. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Stephanie, I will reach out to you. I was out of the office, Michigan and then California. I just got back yesterday, so I will get back to you ASAP. Nathan, let's see. Do you know? So Nathan, you do not want to list any pricing. Remember, this is only due diligence. You want to have a rough pricing in mind, but you don't want to have a pricing, and I'll tell you why that is. Sometimes what I'll do is when I'm doing due diligence, I'll actually price myself extremely low. So I'll be like, hey, I have the space, it's $1 a square foot all in. And what I'll start seeing is I'll see a huge amount of traction, and people want to, like, get the ball rolling and moving because it's really cheap. And that gives me an idea that, hey, you know what? I think I'm lowballing here. Then I'll start increasing the price, and then I'll actually increase the price to where I meet what you call resistance, where I'm starting to see the lead number still remain the same, but the conversions are now becoming extremely low to the point where we're having to spend, let's say, $1,000 to get a tenant in, which is not bad at all. I mean, if you think about commissions, it's still cheaper than a commission, but our average is about $300 to $400 to get a tenant in, right? So if we're escalating towards that $1,000 number, I know that the market is really just not there yet. It will be, but it's not there yet. And so now I know that I need to drop my prices. And so you never want to actually put prices up front, because the whole reason for the call is you want to understand them. You want to go through that closing process, make sure that, these are genuine people who have genuine interests, and you're going to be able to close them over the phone. And that's kind of how I don't even close my people over the phone. I actually schedule a tour, and either I will go myself sometimes if I'm free and tour the property with them just to get a feel, or somebody's going to be there for them. And in most cases, it's actually one of the other tenants who's going to be there assisting me. And this is a strategy, of course, that we will discuss on the other end once development is complete. And what I've realized is pricing will give you less form clicks, and first thing they're going to talk about is we want a discount.
Okay, so how does this process help you evaluate if you can charge enough basically an area to justify, building a building there?
Yeah, so look, I know if you do the math backwards, and I know it's going to cost me $120 a square foot to build something, and I know I need $17 triple net. I look, of course, initially, before I even reach out to the tenants or do any of that, I need to make sure that the area can support $17 or $16 triple net. Once I come to that conclusion that yes, the area does support $16 triple net, then I do what's called a preliminary site drawing to make sure I can actually build the amount that I need to build on the piece of land. Let's say you have an acre, you want to make sure that you can build closer to that 10,000 and not just 5,000 square feet, right? Once all of that is done and you're like, okay, this, I'm okay with this, I think this land is the land, that is when you start running these Facebook ads. And it's just,
that makes sense.
I think it's just one step that I've created to just add a layer of security. You know what I mean? So I want it to be that if you don't miss any of these steps, you're gonna get what you're supposed to get, and the only person who can do that is you. You can validate your project. You can, you can pick up the phone and you will know exactly whether your area can command a certain price point or not.
Gotcha. And this is to validate the volume of demand. So that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no problem. Are you, have we spoken before?
No, I'm a new member also.
All right. Okay. So I'll talk to you on Monday then, man. Super excited.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. What results would you consider a failure or success of validation? So if you guys saw my click-through rate, it's about 45 cents per form filled. I would say it's still about 45 cents per form filled. But because we operate and we now have overhead with our marketing, it's a fairly complex process. Our cost per lease signed is, I would say, $300 to $500. So for every $500 I spend on Facebook ads, I am able to secure one lease. Significantly cheaper than anything else that is out there. It's an amazing branding opportunity for you guys. It's amazing outreach for your real estate development. I've actually gotten brokers who reach out to me through the ads and tell me, hey, we're not interested in leasing, but are you interested in selling the property? We have a buyer. So it just opens up a whole world of opportunity that you didn't have before, because now you have online exposure, right? So I don't think failure is really an option. I would say that if you are not getting the forms filled with $20 to $50 a day, and we're not seeing those forms get filled by credible tenants in the first, 1 to 2 weeks, that's probably not the right area for you. So as long as we're getting forms filled and people are actually, looking to move into these places, it's not a price point, but in fact, the lead flow is what I would be more interested in. So I hope that answers your question.
Actually, a quick follow-up question there, Hamza.
Yes.
So let me get the numbers right, because this is exactly what I was looking for. So you said 1 to 2 weeks. When you say not getting forms filled, what does that mean to you? Zero forms a day, 1 a day? Just give me some sense there.
I would say Facebook takes about 2 to 3 days to ramp up your ad. So if you're not seeing forms on the first day to the third day, there may be an issue with the integration. So the link between the actual Google form with the Facebook ad, because we've seen that happen before with other members. But generally, by day 3, you should be up and running, especially at that $20 to $50 range a day. You should be up and running. I would say $20 budget, 2 to 3 apps a day. $50 budget, you should see 4 to 5 form fills a day.
Got it. So approximately, it sounds like you're saying $10 per form, give or take, is a good sign, and anything less than that is probably starting to look like it's not a good area.
Yeah. So, and also you have to there's another thing with marketing is they're not all going to fill it the first time they see it. So for let's say the first 1 week, you're going to notice it's slow. All of a sudden, week 2, it amplifies because now they've started seeing the ads and they're like, oh, okay, I'm seeing it again and again and again, and now I want to fill it. By week 3, you should be stabilized. Like what your lead flow in week 3 is going to look like, or end of week 2 is going to look like, that is generally what your lead flow will look like with that budget.
Got it. So about a 3-week experiment, $50 a day is a good validation test.
I think it is.
And do you need the filler content done before you start running this test on the page?
Yes. So make the page as active as possible. Put as much filler content as you can. I recommend having at least maybe 15 to 20 posts before you actually start running ads. And if you want to spread them out over let's say 10 days, let's spread that. You don't need to put all the filler content in one day, spread it out over 10 days. You take your Facebook page, share it in other real estate groups, try to get some organic traffic. The more you put into this page, ultimately this page is a representation of that property, of that project that you're going to build.
Got it. So that's so it sounds like validation of area almost to me sounds like a month-long process. So about 10 days worth of kind of organic efforts in terms of filler content. And then running the ads and let them run for about 20 days, about 3 weeks, give or take. And in a month, and about, I guess, roughly doing the numbers, about $1,000 in, you can start to get a real answer of whether this is a good area for this product or not.
I would say so. Also, we have seen people do it in much shorter time. So, really quick filler content. One day, they just cram everything in and they start seeing leads day 2, day 3. I guess it just depends on what part of the country are you in?
I'm in Austin, Hato, Texas, particularly.
Okay. Yeah. So, Austin's a great market. I would say for Austin, for example, I would anticipate that you should see stuff in day 2.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right.
So Hamza, you just say once everything gets ramped up after the first 3 days or say 1 week, you should stabilize to see for good traction 3 to 4 forms filled per day. Is that the metric? Okay.
I mean, look, it honestly depends on where you are in the country. But for us, generally on all our lots, we do see, I would say, 3 to 4 forms a day on a $50 budget.
Okay, so that's like 20 forms a week once you get running on your second week. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing on my end. So I would say across the board on all of our developments.
Okay.
So I think a good metric, if you were like $10 to $12 a form filled, is kind of where you should be.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
All right. Excellent. All right, guys. I had a really good time. Stephanie, I'll get back to you in a little bit. Tariq, great seeing you on the call. I'll see you guys on Monday. Super excited for all of you new guys. I'm really excited to see why you guys decided to join Flex. And I can promise you it's going to be a really interesting journey for the next couple of months for you guys as you watch us build in these times where other people are still, I would say, sitting on the sidelines, let's just say. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you all on Monday.
See you. Thank you, Hamza.
Bye, guys.